Yeah, so the Metropolitan Museum of Art does have an entire Egyptian tomb in their gallery. First off, it wasn't stolen. The Egyptian government sold portions of the tomb to Edward S. Harkness in 1913, and then he donated it to the Met. This is the phrase that I came up with when I talk about Egyptian antiquities that were taken out of Egypt long ago, which were legal at the time, but morally and ethically wrong. And this is just my way of saying that these aren't stolen when you're looking at the legal jargon of it, but morally, ethically, it was taken from a place that it should not have been taken from. Now let's talk about the tomb itself. It is a mastaba-style tomb from Saqqara, north of Djoser's Step Pyramid, which you can see right there. It dates to the reigns of Djedkare, Yesi, and Unis, which is approximately 230-81 to 2323 BCE. The tomb was for a man named Perneb, who was a court official in the royal household and had the role of robing and crowning the king. His name literally means, "My Lord has come forth to me." The tomb consisted of an underground burial chamber and a mastaba. A mastaba is the Arabic word for bench, and so we describe this as a bench-like structure, and it was made entirely out of limestone. There were 4 rooms inside the mastaba, including an entrance passage, a main offering chapel, a secondary offering chapel, and something called a serdab. A serdab, which is Arabic for cellar, is a closed room containing a statue of the deceased, in this case Perneb. There is a small slot where the smell of incense and the sound of chants could pass through to that statue. The tomb features tons of different depictions of offering scenes to Perneb. As a visitor to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, they do let you go into certain passageways. Many of them have been covered with plexiglass to protect the painted sections, which you can still see here. And one of the cool things they've done is they've actually translated some things and also left little captions that are printed on the plexiglass. So you can learn a little bit while actually looking at immediately the images and the text that are from the tomb. This is a reconstruction of what the false door of Perneb might have looked like originally. The light blue color is pretty popular for this time period, but let me show you what it looks like now. Here it is here. I think light blue is probably, unfortunately, one of those colors that does not last very long, but you can see we still have tons of paint left when you're looking at the different images of Perneb, and you can see him sitting in front of a variety of offering tables, getting all the good goods. Now, only the mastaba facade and chapel were purchased from Egypt, and I can only assume that the rest of it was in pretty bad condition. It is not like the Egyptian government to sell an entire structure unless it is for a very good reason. Ask me about the other temple that is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, because that is an amazing story. And it was given to the Metropolitan for much better reasons than this one, but I would assume that it was not in good shape for them to only sell off certain portions of it. The statue chamber is a replica from the original, and they also did add the secondary wall to mimic the courtyard that the tomb created to then attach to other mastabas. The reassembly of this tomb took about 3 years. This tomb is one of the first things that you see when you enter the Egyptian gallery from the main entrance of the museum. If you take a right, that starts on your chronological journey, and you'll start with the oldest things in ancient Egypt. Unfortunately, not a lot of people go to that side. They usually go to the left, which then you're looking at the most recent, so you're looking at Greco-Roman Egypt, and then they take that path and they actually go backwards chronologically and usually then get messed up in some of the different paths. I prefer the chronological route. You go down this way and then you rope your way back around. But it is very hard when you get to the Temple of Dendera to remember to come back around this way to get to some of the New Kingdom, late period, and Greco-Roman stuff. I apparently just got access to 10-minute videos, so I'm not going to do full 10-minute videos, but here's a little bit of a longer one. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you have any more questions.